Golden State Media Concepts Technology Podcast covers everything tech. The hottest mobile phones, tablets, games. We review it, rate it, test it. Whether you're Microsoft or Apple, Android or iPhone, we'll give it to you black and white. The Golden State Media Concepts Technology Podcast.
Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Technology News Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Ben Felix. Today I'm going to be discussing Zoom and all the issues they have been facing in the past few months, ever since people have been using their platform a lot more. Apple reportedly releasing a new iPhone this upcoming Friday. YouTube will be reducing the amount of content spread by conspiracy theories regarding 5G technology and the coronavirus, trying to tie those two things in. New streaming service Quibi launching Monday and what to expect. And I'll finish off by talking about some great tech deals to look out for right now. So, let's get started. So Zoom, obviously, if you don't know what it is, Zoom is a video call service similar to Skype, and I think it's used a lot for like conference calls by different companies, organizations. I know when I used to work with this nonprofit, last year, most recent, we used Zoom all the time because our staff was all over the country. We were based out of Raleigh, but we had employees in Alabama, Arkansas, Austin, Texas, Arizona. So we were kind of a little of everywhere. So we always had weekly Monday meetings on Zoom. And then when we had, department specific meetings, we also used Zoom. So from my memories using the platform, it was a really, really smooth, easy platform to use. It worked really well. I enjoyed using it. And for the most part, rarely had tech issues unless it was something with our internet. But, and it's one of those things that's been there, just kind of like Skype. But the use of Zoom has drastically risen over the past few weeks as more people are having to start to work from home. And then also some people, you just have people that are using it to connect with family and friends. See a lot of people screenshotting Zoom conversations that, you had. I think Zoom could do up to like 30 people on it at once. So people are getting their families together, FaceTiming, and especially times where younger folks are avoiding going to see their parents or grandparents because just, the possibility with the coronavirus going around, nobody wants their family to catch anything. I know I'm certainly in that boat where I've been, I live 15 minutes away from my parents, not even like 10 minutes away from my parents. And it's been a good 3, maybe going on to 4 weeks since I've gone to their place. And I usually go there like once or twice a week just to, steal some food from them, but also just check in and say hi. So that's been tough. I just kind of been trying to be super cautious, especially I know I tend to be more. I've been doing a decent job of self-quarantining, but still trying to just play it safe rather than sorry. But like I said, Zoom has seen its usage increase dramatically as people are confined to their homes due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and people have been using it to stay in contact, conduct work, school, etc. And Zoom CEO has said that he said this in an April 1st blog post that the company reached 200 million daily meeting participants in March, which is up from 10 million in December. So that's a drastic increase, and that amount is only going to continue to increase. But along that, Zoom has been facing a lot of issues throughout these past few weeks as more people are utilizing their platform. And one of the main issues is just a lot of harassment that's been going on, targeted harassment. They've been dealing with some security issues. But as far as the targeted harassment, it's now been coined as Zoom bombing, where unwanted guests invade a meeting, and Zoom is just riddled with security issues. And part of it, I think, a lot of people don't know how to fully operate it. So there's just a lot of quirks through that leaves meetings very vulnerable. And with it having become the default social media platform for so many people to stay connected during this coronavirus pandemic, obviously, there's as many people that are using it to be productive. You're going to have those people that are the trolls, as people refer to them, that are bored at home, and people that just like to mess with other people. And so those people are showing up, and they're using their time to interrupt Zoom meetings. They're jumping into public Zoom calls and using the platform's screen sharing features to project graphic content to unexpected conference participants that are there for one thing, and then you get bombarded by an inappropriate image or whatsoever. One example of this is on Tuesday, Chipotle, they were forced to end a public Zoom chat that the brand had co-hosted with the musician Love, I believe that's how it's pronounced, after one participant had began broadcasting pornography to hundreds of attendees. So stuff like that has just been going rampantly the past few weeks, and now has been coined Zoom bombing. Zoom bombing, similar but wordplay, kind of like Oz. Photo bombing. But another example is earlier this week, TechCrunch, the website, they reported that venture capitalist Hunter Walk and the journalist Casey Newton, they were forced to shut down their they were holding a work from home happy hour type of thing, and they actually had to shut it down twice this previous week after getting Zoom bombed, as these people just keep coming in and sharing inappropriate stuff and messing with the meetings these people are running. It's gotten to the point where the FBI has had to come out and state that they're warning people that hey, all of these stuff you are doing, all these Zoom bombing, it has potential legal implications, wherein someone successfully invading a public or sometimes even private meeting over the video conferencing platform to broadcast shock videos, pornography, or other disruptive content. And part of this that is kind of people got to be really careful about, because say you're hitting a conference call, a lot of times these people might have kids in the background, or kids walking around, because you can have kids next to you and when you're listening to what's going on, keep your mic muted the whole time. But your kids are curious. They're going to be walking around the screens. They want to see what's going on. They'll interrupt meetings, want to wave in. I know it happened a bunch of times when I used to work with a nonprofit, and we'd have our meetings. Some of our employees' kids, they would come in and interrupt, or even other family members interrupt just to say hi and stuff like that. And so imagine having that situation happen, and an inappropriate image pops up at that point. That's something no parent or anyone should have to worry about during conducting business, or even just during a fun time where everyone's getting together to stay connected in this time where it's really, really tough to stay connected. So the FBI posted their warning as a press release to the Department of Justice website under the U.S. Attorney's Office for the state's Eastern District, with support from the state Attorney General and the FBI. And so to these people that are continually doing these Zoom bombings, there is legal implications that can come your way. And and if anything is to happen to them, I definitely won't feel any pity for them at all, because you deserve what's coming for you if you are messing with people like that. But nonetheless, despite all this issue, recently Zoom CEO, his name is Eric S. Wan, he said on Sunday that, despite the company's recent security problems, its intentions are good. One of his quotes is, "We move too fast and we have had some missteps." Juan said in an interview with CNN's Brian Stelter, "We've learned our lessons and we've taken a step back to focus on privacy and security." So it's not very apparent. Zoom recognizes what's going on, and even if they were to miss it, the rest of the world is on edge, and we would call them out on it, make sure, like, hey, this is what's going on. Keep them. Everyone's just been blasting about it. It's been nonstop talk about Zoom and everything that's going on, so there's no way they could miss it. And I don't fault them at all, because this was an unexpected increase in traffic for them, and I don't know what kind of issues they were facing prior to this. Maybe they were facing the same issues and they just neglected it, or as more attention was brought to their platform, you get those more people that are corrupt and want to mess with things, and that's what's occurring here. But nonetheless, it's good to see that they are aware of what's going on, and I saw something else where they mentioned that, like, for the next, with everything being so crazy right now, they're pausing feature updates for 90 days to focus on privacy and security, which is obviously really important and is a good thing. And hopefully they're able to put in place the proper security and privacy measures needed to make sure people's content, or not even, content and just whatever business or whatever is going on in the Zoom meetings is confidential, is like, it's a safe environment on the internet, which it gets less and less safe every time, but they make it to the point where people don't have to worry about these silly little things potentially occurring. But yeah, it's just one of those things that happens when a company goes from, decent amount of business to, something that's over the top that I'm sure they were never expecting to gain that much traffic, especially in probably like a 2-3 week period for them. So they're, like many of us in many situations around the world, around the country, they're learning to adjust with it as it comes and goes. And so it'll be interesting to see how that keeps working out for Zoom. And if you are using Zoom, just be very careful, and be prepared for anything at this point. And so until they're able to fully guarantee to us that everything's going to be safe. So that's that. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Apple potentially releasing a new iPhone very soon. As of now, it actually seems very much that they are releasing a new phone, and everyone's expecting it to officially be released this upcoming Friday. So we'll talk a little bit more about that after.
Do you want your IRA or 401k to be a part of the biggest wealth transfer in history? If you have a retirement account, you've likely invested in a mix of stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. The tax benefits are extraordinary, yes, but if you wish that you had more investment options, you're not alone. Now, thanks to a little-known IRS tax law, you can convert your IRA or eligible 401k into cryptocurrency. Get all the growth potential of crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, and more, with any gains coming on a tax-deferred basis. BitIRI has thousands of satisfied customers and has earned an A+ rating with the BBB. For a limited time, the folks at BitIRA are offering a free copy of their Essential Guide to Digital IRAs, which you can claim at bitira.com/technology. This free guide reveals everything to know about cryptocurrency in your IRA. Discover the tax benefits if your account is eligible, and how to make this move in 3 easy steps. Zero obligation to you to request this info. If you have over $20,000 in an IRA or 401k, see if diversifying your retirement savings into crypto makes sense for you. That's bitira.com/technology.
Do you work in the world of marketing and advertising? Are you a media buyer or the owner of an agency? Have you been looking for a podcast to help stay on top of all the goings-on of those worlds? The GSMC Marketing News Podcast is dedicated to keeping you up to date on all things concerning marketing and advertising. Get the latest marketing news, from what major businesses have planned for the coming year to the newest trends in advertising, from podcasts, digital and streaming, to the old standbys of radio, television, and billboards. The GSMC Marketing News Podcast has you covered, whether you're a marketing agent or a business trying to expand your brand.
Welcome back. Now, in the last segment, we talked about Zoom and all the issues they've been facing recently as they've gained more traffic and attention to their platform. Now, in this segment, I'm going to be talking about Apple's new iPhone release and why it's a little surprising. So, Apple is expected to start taking orders for its new 4.7-inch iPhone SE as soon as Friday. A store, which is, a very surprising development considering everything that's going on in the country and the world right now with the coronavirus pandemic. Most Apple stores are closed, and the nosediving economy would deter most companies from even dreaming of rolling any product out right now. Usually this time is when companies are teasing us of products coming, and then they would soon drop it. But even we haven't really been even getting those teasers of products coming out. So, but for Apple, they're gonna keep things rolling. It looks like, and keep moving forward. Now, several tech blogs have learned about the iPhone SE's release was imminent after the listing for the Belkin Invisiglass Ultra screen protection, and the Apple Store accidentally listed its size as being for the iPhone SE 8-7. So I think Apple obviously messed up and released that on the Apple Store, and someone picked up on it. Tech blogs are always staying on top of those things, and someone picked up on it, and at that point, if you're releasing a screen protector for a phone that doesn't exist, then we're to expect that a phone's coming soon. But subsequently, Apple removed references to the iPhone SE from the listing once news about it started to, kind of make its way. Now the iPhone SE 8/7 is a follow-up to the 2016 iPhone SE, a smaller budget option that was well received at the time. And whereas the 2016 iPhone SE fit the processing power and capabilities of the iPhone 6 into the body of an iPhone 5, the 2020 iPhone SE will essentially have the body of an iPhone 8 and the features of an iPhone 11, such as the A113 processor. The phone will come in white, black, red, and it'll have 64 gigabyte, 128 gigabyte, and 256 gigabyte memory options. And early reports have suggested that the new phone will cost roughly around $400, and as of now, it's unclear when the product will ship. This is all kind of speculation. But based off of like the idea of what the SE is from what we saw in 2016 and the fact that they're labeling it 8.7, iPhone SE 8/7, helps you kind of fill in the blank. But what I really like about this potential release is that, one, it kind of goes on to what I've been talking about recently with Apple, where their sales have been declining. And let me real quick look up the numbers. I have the numbers pulled up, but I don't have it at the moment. But their numbers have been declining in sales as their phones have been getting more and more expensive. And part of it is also, the phones are getting more expensive, but the phones are also getting, super, like, more technological. Phones are really great. Apple phones are phenomenal. And so, as you're making better and better phones, there's less inclination to update, to get a newer phone, because if my phone is lasting longer and everything works fine with it, camera's still good, all that, like, why do I need to rush to get a new phone? And I'm less inclined to rush to get a new phone, especially if it's expensive. And especially now during this period where unemployment is at an all-time high, everyone's pocket pinching. It's an interesting strategic move by Apple, but at the same time, I totally understand, because things need to keep moving on forward for them, and they need to keep doing what they have to do to gain business, because it's the same way they have employees and people that they need to make their money too. So I totally understand that. But I think if this phone release was to happen without like the whole pandemic going on now, I think this phone release would have been a huge success. And I still very much think it will be. It's so hard to, try to predict how potential sales could end up being for this. But I really like the idea of it because, like, I know for me personally, the iPhone SE I had, and I really liked it because of the same. I like the small, slim size of it, where I was getting everything, all the processing power and all the, capabilities of the newest phone, but in a smaller size. And that's what I like because, it fit well in my pocket. I didn't need a huge tablet for a phone. And yeah, and I think it just works well for some people, where there's some people that just, hey, I need a simple phone. I need a, simple size where, something that I could keep in my pocket at all times. It's not like a bulging huge tablet I'm trying to fit in my pocket. It's not uncomfortable. Some people having 3-4 cameras, it doesn't matter. And the other main thing about it is also just the price. When all their phones of recent have been, starting at around $1,000, to have a phone that starts at $600 less than that is really, really, really great thing. And, I know, like, I was recently talking to a friend's mom, one of my friend's moms, and they were complaining about they have an Android and their phone, like, accidentally, like, just wiped everything out of their memory. And she was super upset about it because, she lost all her photos. And I was trying to talk her into, like, get an iPhone, because I think iPhone's really great for older people because of the simplicity of it. It's still a great, like, the technological side of it is phenomenal, but it's still, they do simplicity so well, where you can pick up on things really quickly, and you're more inclined to be able to get help with iPhone products than Android products, because just more people have iPhone products, and it's easier to diagnose iPhone issues, I feel like, than it is Android issues, because for the most part, you can just Google something really quickly and there'll be tons of videos, articles, different things on it to how to fix blah, blah, blah. So, I was trying to talk her into, hey, like looking to get an iPhone, but her main concern was she just couldn't get herself to pay $1,000 for a phone, which I totally understand. And that's where a lot of people are. There's a lot of people that love the new technology and save up for that. And, like I said, I have the 11 Pro. The only reason I got that was just because the phone prior to that I had was the 7 Plus, and the 7 Plus stopped making calls, so I had to upgrade. So at that point, I was like, I might as well just upgrade and get the most recent phone that came out. But nonetheless, I think that this is a good release for Apple, and it follows, they just last week they released the MacBook Air and the trackpad and some other stuff. So this is falling in line with some of the stuff they've already released recently, and they also recently released the new Beats headphones, the workout headphones. So this is usually that period in March where Apple releases their stuff, and it looks like it's continuing in that pace. But keep a lookout for that if you've been looking into potentially getting a new phone. The iPhone SE is definitely will be a great phone. And for $400, that's not bad at all. So we're going to take another break, and when we return, we're going to discuss YouTube shutting down conspiracy videos that are trying to connect 5G and the coronavirus. It's crazy, but yeah, we'll get more into it after the break.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Technology News Podcast. Last segment, we talked about Apple soon releasing a new iPhone SE, potentially coming out this upcoming Friday. Now, in this segment, we're going to talk about YouTube reducing the amount of conspiracy content that gets produced or posted on its platform. Conspiracy content, more specifically regarding 5G and the spread of coronavirus. Now, rumors and conspiracy theories over a link between the rollout of 5G and the spread of coronavirus have been spreading primarily through social media networks. A variety of groups exist on Facebook and Nextdoor, where thousands of members repeat false and misleading claims that 5G is supposedly harmful. And I remember first hearing about this conspiracy theory, and I was just kind of taken back by it because it just seems so ridiculous because, obviously first of all, we first started hearing about the 5G coming towards the end of last year, and the first reported case of the coronavirus was towards the end of last year. And of course, people not having anything better to do, they try to tie the two things in together. And that happened of just recently, because with every thing that happens, some things just can't happen where it's it's a pandemic that spread. For some reason, that seems like a crazy idea. But when we think about the proximity of how people are social, if you get airborne virus like the coronavirus being, and something that simply can last up to 8 to 10 hours on metal and other surfaces, and it can live on your phone. Like, the thought of being able to spread a virus like the corona is very obvious and very, it makes sense to the common human being. I would think so, at least, but apparently not. So nonetheless, you get your conspiracy theorists out here start talking crazy and coming up with these outlandish ideas of, oh, this is what's going on, blah, 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 and all that. They post it on social media, all over platforms, Facebook, YouTube. I see stuff on Twitter also. People throw these crazy stuff, and sometimes, there's those people that just need something to believe in, or you have those people that are too paranoid and they immediately believe the wrong thing, and the first thing they hear, wrong thing, or you're getting fed a lot of false information. But nonetheless, YouTube being one of those platforms that has had to deal with this a lot, they have stepped forward and they will be reducing the amount of content spreading conspiracy theories about links between 5G technology and coronavirus that it recommends to users. It has said as 4 more attacks were recorded on phone masts within 24 hours. So the online video company will they're going to actively remove videos that breach its policies, YouTube has said. But content that is simply conspiratorial about 5G mobile connection networks without mentioning the virus, they're still going to allow on the site. And I totally understand that. You're going to have conspiracy theories of all kinds. You can't stop all of them, but the main main important thing right now is stopping the ones tying 5G and coronavirus, simply because, one, as I'll talk about in a little bit, when people see stuff like this start happening, people start acting in ridiculous ways. And one of the ways we see is there was a story out in London. It was British 5G towers are being set on fire because of coronavirus conspiracy theories. The 5G phone masts are being set alight in the UK after online conspiracy theories have misleadingly linked the cell towers to the coronavirus pandemic. The BBC reports that at least 3 5G towers were set alight within the last week, and police and fire services were called to extinguish the flames. A Vodafone UK spokesperson confirmed to The Verge shout out to The Verge, that's where I'm getting this part from, but a Vodafone UK spokesperson confirmed to them that 4 cell towers were targeted in the past 24 hours. Police have now launched investigations into how the 5G towers caught fire. And so, slow stuff like that is important. Why these conspiracy theories have to be shut down as soon as possible, and by any means not by any means possible, but forget your freedom of speech at that point. I think if you're not being a part of the solution, you're being part of the problem, then you need to be stopped, because we need more and more people to realize to know the truth about this virus. We're learning as much as we can on the go. A lot of it, they still don't know what's going on with it. Every week we hear, potentially new symptoms, new ways you can catch it, and we're hearing new ways of it being potentially more dangerous and not. Early on it was only older people can really get it. Younger people can get it, but they're going to be fine. And then a week or 2 later, we see, nope, younger people are getting it really bad also, and younger people are dying off from it. And so all around the board, there's so much we don't know about this virus. There's so much that we're learning on the go, and we need we need the professionals, the doctors, those people that, excel in this, that know this, that have been studying the virus, that have been dealing with the patients. We need to be getting our information from them, not even from the president, because he's just been saying a lot of crap that, he's had people in the same sentence, like correct them and be like, no, like don't do this. And, President said, he's hoping everything goes back by Easter time, and Easter's like in a week or two. So, you can't listen to all the things that, everyone's saying. We gotta pay attention to the people that are legitimate sources, get our information from them. But nonetheless, it's good to see YouTube acting upon this. And I know Facebook has done something similar. Google obviously has. Google owns YouTube, and so Google has been trying to, delete those links to those conspiracy videos and stuff like that, and they're less inclined to send people when people look up. Hopefully, I'm assuming this is the case, but I've seen something about it where they're less inclined to send people to find this content if they look it up. But YouTube, they have their policies in place. I'll read this last few statements from them. We also have clear policies that prohibit videos promoting medically unsubstantiated methods to prevent the coronavirus in place of seeking medical treatment, and we quickly remove videos violating these policies when flagged to us. We have also begun reducing recommendations of borderline content, such as conspiracy theories related to 5G and coronavirus that could misinform users in harmful ways. So everyone's just working right now to make sure that the right message about this virus is being put out there and not the wrong one. And we need to play our part in that also, where, I know I've done it personally, where if I see something that I know is false or is conspiracy theories, like I'll flag it. I'll clearly flag it on Twitter, because those people don't need a platform to be sharing this type of nonsense, because there's going to be people are gullible. There are people that are gullible. You can get people to believe anything nowadays. And that's one of the bad things about the internet. So, it's good to see YouTube doing that and working to really, fight the battle all around revolving this coronavirus. And it's just an ongoing battle. When we see stuff like this, it always ties back into the tech world. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will be discussing Quibi, the new streaming service, its unique method, and why it's dropping at a really awkward time. And it'll be interesting to see how things play out for them. So we'll be right back after this break.
Are you a business owner? Someone interested in the latest news that might affect your business? Then check out the GSMC Business News Podcast, a show dedicated to keeping you up to date on all things concerning business, technology, and the stock market. Get a head start on the day as we keep you updated on the latest goings-on Wall Street, money, jobs, and technology. The GSMC Business News Podcast has you covered.
Welcome back. Last segment, we discussed YouTube reducing the amount of content spreading conspiracy theories about links between 5G technology and coronavirus on its platform. And in this segment, we're going to be discussing Quibi, the new streaming service that's dropping this Monday, and if it'll have success or not. Now, Quibi, like I said, it's a new streaming service, and when you think streaming service, we already have Hulu, Netflix, HBO, Amazon Prime Video, whatever that is. So there's 4 or 5, Disney Plus, and then Apple TV just has one. So there's 5, 6 major ones out there right now. And now Quibi is going to be joining that battle. Now, if you haven't heard about Quibi, so Quibi is supposed to be a short form video for people, And the idea behind it was, it'd be like this platform would specifically be for people that waited for people to go on while they wait for coffee or the bus. The space Quibi intended to seize was the lost minutes in the day, the ones big streamers aren't competing for. But, among the COVID-19 pandemic, this everything kind of has changed for Quibi as their plans to launch Monday, April 6th, aka today. And the question has basically been whether Hollywood icon Jeffrey Katzenberg and Silicon Valley giant Meg Whitman could make a streaming service designed to be enjoyed on the go. And, when I first heard of this, because I first heard of Quibi, just all I heard was short form film, a new streaming service, and I was immediately like, didn't pay much attention to it. And then I quickly started seeing Chance the rapper, he has a show on there. He's doing a punk show, like the old school punk that Ashton Kutcher used to do. They're bringing that back on. And so they've revamped that, but with Chance now. And so that's going to be one of the major shows on Quibi. And then I've heard that, they've managed to sign some other big names to do some content for them, including, I believe, Chrissy Teigen. So it looks like they've gotten some big names early on to help with the launch of it, which, usually helps with something like that. But the idea of it, it's, like I said, it's supposed to be there to help fill in those times of the days when you're on the go. For some people, say you live in New York, or for those people that, so they take Uber, taxis around for those short 10, 15-minute rides. It's to help with that for people, some people that use the bathroom for like 5-10 minutes is to help with that, or while you're on a coffee break or you're on a short lunch break. I know sometimes for me, when I'm at work, I just need to take like a 5-10 minute break. And so it's for those people. And so when I learned more about that, I really do like that idea, because I think it is nice to, a lot of times when we're taking those breaks or whatever, we immediately go social media. And so it takes, probably like a quick minute or two to see everything you need to see between the 3-4 social media platforms, scrolling through it really quickly. And what I find myself spending a lot of time is just, scrolling, rereading the same thing, and kind of just alternating between all the platforms until your break is done. And so it would be nice in that span to have, pull up something that has quick 5-10 minute content that you could quickly consume and during that break time, and as a way to, just ease your mind, relax your mind for, those short, brief minutes before you get right back into it. But, Quibi had this launch already set up. They were supposed to, come out. It's supposed to be a smooth launch. But now they're facing, a really big issue where they're essentially launching at a time where all the other streaming services are, like it's prime time. Like, it's a great time to launch, but also a terrible time because all the other stream services are at, like, this is a peak time for them also. Netflix is doing huge numbers. Their stocks have been rising. Disney Plus, it's been getting a lot of traction. HBO, Hulu, like all those streaming services. Everyone's at home. Everyone's got a lot of time on their hands, so everyone's binge watching shows. I know for me, in the past like 2 weeks, I've been through like 3 or 4 different shows, all because of all the extra time I have on my hand. So, that's another obstacle Quibi's gonna have to break into. They're gonna have to break into an already oversaturated market, and this is really gonna help them, to, in the best and potentially worst way. People are hungry for new entertainment as they're ordered to stay indoors, and Quibi has a 90-day free trial, and which makes downloading and checking out yet another app, another streaming service less painful. So 90 days, we're going to be indoors for at least another 30, 60 days, the way things are playing out. So that's a good, like a trial period for people to really, if they want, give the app a go, give it a quick run. And so, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. The initial price accordingly for Quibi is going to be $4.99, which is cheaper than most streaming services except Apple TV Plus, which Apple TV Plus is the same amount. Whitman, who's one of people that's behind Quibi, she told Market Watch in January that Quibi is not YouTube or Instagram, and she added that Quibi fills a niche they don't. We provide content for people on the go, Whitman said, something that she and Kattensberg have reiterated over the last few months. And so, now that people aren't on the go, like, is that format still gonna correlate? Is it still gonna sell? Is it still gonna work? It'll be interesting to see. And that's not to say, there's still a lot of people that are on the go. So, but it's just less than usual. But nonetheless, like I said, there's a lot of people hungry for content, and some people that are just, curious enough, especially with a free 90-day trial. What's the worst? Like, give it a go, try it out, and if you don't like it, you could just keep things moving. But if they're able to, give really high quality content in a short expanded period of time, where it's content that like people really want to watch, this really does have a potential to be successful. But it'll be interesting to see how things play out for them. I might mess around and download it and give it a go, do the free trial and see how it is, because I'm the same way where like I like having sometimes something just to watch for 5-10 minutes, even like especially when I'm cooking in the kitchen. So it's something that, I have my headphones on and I could have it playing where I'm even hearing it. I listen to a lot of podcasts, but sometimes podcasts, like listen to 5-10 minutes, it's not great. So I'll probably give it a try and, maybe review it in one of these upcoming episodes. Now, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about 3D printing, the 3D printing community stepping up to help with coronavirus pandemic.
Are you looking for a podcast that gives you all of the latest news from the world of finance? Then check out the GSMC Financial News Podcast. We'll delve into the ups and downs of the stock market, changes in the economy, and news from the world of real estate and technology. From breaking news on the New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, or the overseas market, to updates on the bond market, if there's money to be made, we'll cover it on the GSMC Financial News Podcast.
Welcome back to the GSMC Technology News Podcast. Last segment, we discussed Quibi, a new streaming service that's launching Monday, April 6th, and the format, they're a short video format, and they're launching at a really interesting time, and just kind of talked about how that launch will go for them, if it'll go well or bad. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But in this segment, we're going to be discussing how the 3D community has stepped up during the coronavirus pandemic. Now, one of the things that has occurred during this pandemic is everyone has been rushing, same thing that happens. Where I live in North Carolina, we don't get snow that often. We get it probably like once or twice a year. But usually, when they forecast for snow, people over here lose their mind. Say today, say they're predicting snow for tomorrow. Everyone will hit the stores. Would have hit the stores today and just gone and bought all the bread, milk, everything. And most of what happens is like we get a couple inches of snow, and North Carolina weather is so bipolar that the next day all of it is like basically cleared up because the sun comes out and all of it melts away immediately. But what's occurred in the past few weeks has been that, but times like 100,000 and some. As soon as the whole pandemic started to unravel, everyone went crazy buying hand sanitizer, all this extra stuff. With like the hand sanitizer makes sense and all that, the soap makes sense, but then people also started, overbuying things like toilet paper, which really didn't make sense, and it was just certain things that people were overstocking on that they necessarily didn't need to. But one of those other things is face mask, and especially because there's talks that this virus might be airborne, and people don't want to catch it, obviously. So everyone has been scurrying to buy face masks, but amongst all that, the people that need face masks the most right now are doctors, nurses, physicians, those people that are dealing with people that potentially have coronavirus or are showing symptoms. But, all us civilians, all us regular people have bought up a ton of them, and now there's been a shortage of it, and we've just been trying to scramble nonstop over the past few days, just trying to find a solution for this crisis. And one of those people we've seen that have been stepping up is the worldwide 3D printing community, and they're stepping up to alleviate the shortage of medical equipment needed to battle the coronavirus pandemic. Participants include entrepreneurs and hackers, companies in the 3D printing industry, automobile makers, aircraft manufacturers, universities, and even a shipbuilder. Some are offering free 3D printer files for download and use. Others are designing equipment. Others are also offering to produce medical equipment for the cost of the materials. And there are people that are offering to connect medical and healthcare organizations to 3D printing facilities. So a lot of wide range options. And I think for some of these companies also, there's automobile makers, aircraft manufacturers, universities. These are people that right now they're not even able to do their normal job. And this is even beneficial for them in a way where they're still able to be productive and able to give their employees a working opportunity. And it's something that, their employees are still getting work and still getting a source of income, but the work they're doing is also still very beneficial, and it's going to help in the battle against this virus. And so it's really cool to see those companies recognize that, step up, and play their part in that. Now, the 3D printing industry has set up a Discord server for members to discuss or organize printing projects to deal with the pandemic. Jim Greger, principal analyst at Tiris Research, said there will be a mixture of options, but at this time, most are trying to assist any way they can. Not everything will be free, but it's good to see a mixture of options, he had told Tech News World. So, like I said, it's just good to see people step up, and for a lot of us not being nurses or doctors, it might be tough to be like, I don't know how to help, but there's always a way to help. You might be into the 3D printing. I don't know much about it. I want to learn more about it. It's super fascinating, and also I think it's one of those that's super fascinating but also super dangerous. That if the technology gets in the wrong hand, could be problematic. But we could get into all that in a different time. But nonetheless, seeing people take their talents and put it in a useful manner to help deal with this pandemic, because we just need to get more proper equipment out to these hospitals and facilities around the country to help combat this, because they're still talking about us. We're still a good 2-3 weeks from hitting the peak point of this disease affecting this country. So we just got to continue to play our part. And but no, just want to salute those people that are stepping up, including those 3D community people, recognizing how they can help, and also doing it in a way where there's good intention. Obviously not all of it can be free. They need some return and just to be able to buy equipment, all that, but really cool to see them stepping up and doing their part. Now we're going to take one last break, and in this last segment I wanted to highlight some really good tech deals that are going on right now. I know it's income might be a rough time for people right now, but if you do happen to have some extra money in your pocket, or if your work is still remaining consistent, there's some really good tech deals that are going on right now. This is a good time, to take advantage of, you might need this, you might have needed something for a while, and the price might have dropped for it. So we'll discuss that in the last segment.
The Golden State Media Concepts Travel Podcast, the show that gives you advice on everything travel. We explore places you've always wanted to go, as well as giving tips for traveling in those places. We'll give you advice on the best sites for travel tips, information, and discounts. Join us as we travel the world, explore cultures, and meet new people. The Golden State Media Concepts Travel Podcast has got you covered. Download the GSMC Travel Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Welcome back. Now, last time we discussed the 3D printing community stepping up to help with the coronavirus pandemic and why that's really awesome. And in this last segment, I wanted to just kind of discuss some tech deals that I've seen pop up to me as I've been kind of scrolling through, looking at different things that, give people a heads up on. In case you've been looking for any of these products by chance, this might be the right time to buy them, as seeing their prices are lower and there's some good tech deals out there right now. Now, the first thing will be is the MacBook Air. So the MacBook Air, the 2019 last year's version, is currently on sale for $899 through B&H. Now that's $200 off its $1,999 listing price, and that's the second lowest price that we've seen for that kind of MacBook configuration. So that's really good. And now that previous generation base model MacBook Air packs a 13.3 Retina display, Core i5 CPU, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and 128 gigabytes of storage. So if you've been looking to get a new laptop, and if you don't necessarily want to get the newest one, if you're looking in that $900 to $1,000 budget, that's a great laptop to get right there. Now, for some other products, the Amazon Echo Dot, the 3rd generation, which is a 2-pack, it's originally $100. Now it's selling at $80, and you can obviously get that at Amazon. And the Amazon Dot 3rd generation, Amazon Echo Dot 3rd generation, is an all-time top-rated smart speaker, and so you can save $20 on that if you've been looking into getting that. If you say you need a new TV, the Samsung 55 4K Smart TV usually retails at $600, is right now on sale for $327. My gosh, I might even have to get that. That's a really good deal. I haven't upgraded my TV in a while, but That's a really good TV deal for a 55-inch 4K smart TV for $327, and that's through Amazon also. Yeah, this 55-inch smart TV features a stunning 2160 pixel resolution, 60 hertz motion rate, and smart functionality. So you could control the Wi-Fi. I think with smart TVs, you don't need a Roku or any of that, or at least it comes with some of the streaming services. Their deals are weird with some of the smart TVs, where some you can access all of them, some you can only access certain ones. So you still might need a Roku or another device to get all the streaming services, but nonetheless, it's a really great deal for a smart TV, 5 feet and a 55-inch also. Now, the all-new Kindle, that is typically retails at $89. It is now on sale for $59, so $30 off of that. This e-reader model packs built-in lighting, so if you're not at the whims of daylight or bedside lamps, you got the backup lighting there. And so currently $30 off, and comes with 3 months of Kindle Unlimited for free. So there you go. That's a nice little extra perk for that. And a lot of your kids, or I guess everyone's kids at home right now, and if they're getting on your nerves and you want something for them to keep them busy, if you don't already have one, Amazon Fire 7 Kids tablet is on sale right now. Usually retails at $100, but right now it's on sale for $59. So the Fire 7 Kids Edition tablet features a 7-inch display, 1.3 gigahertz quad core CPU, 1 gigabyte of RAM, and 32 gigabytes of storage. And it also comes with a 2-year worry-free warranty and protective case. And it's currently $40 off. So those are a couple products that, great prices, selling for really great prices if you have the income for it, and if you've been meaning to, upgrade your, say, laptop or TV, or get a tablet for your kid to keep them busy during this time where they have a lot of free time at home. There are some great products right there to check out, and most of those were on Amazon. So go scroll through there, and there's, like I said, there's a ton of great deals going on right now. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the GSMC Technology News Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'd like to ask that you please remember to subscribe to the show. That really helps us out a lot. Subscribe, write a nice review. And also, if you guys can please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, we'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you, and you guys stay safe out there. We'll talk to you guys later.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Technology Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.